Ah, there it is. We all live. Okay. Yo, what's up? Max611 in the house. What's up, kid?
What's up, brother man from the other land?
That's right. You already you already know. I'm shocked. I'm shocked and happy at the same time. I'm happy because we got our brother who I didn't think would even be on because we're talking some NFL stuff today as
Well,
well.
he saw the baseball topics. That's why
Okay. Oh, that's why he's in.
and he gonna leave soon as the football topics start.
Yeah,
I
you
already
already
know.
know. You already know the deal.
And
Let's
I
bring
love the hat he got on.
let's bring the brother in right now. Your mic is live, brother Dom. How you feeling, man?
Good evening, gentlemen.
And
All right.
and people, this is In the Paint, the realest show in sports.
Yes,
Please
sir.
subscribe to the YouTube channel In the Paint Media Group as me,
Yes.
Max611, aka Mark A. Cunningham, and that's Big Brother R, aka R Jones, the other
That's me.
guy.
The other guy. That's right. Okay, cool, cool. Dom, I thank you for being on. While Mac, gave you props for wearing that hat, well, you already know.
He's a hater.
Ain't he? God, he's sick. Man.
Did you happen to catch my Friday Night Knicks clip?
No, I didn't.
Check your phone. He sent a text.
He sent the text.
Yes, I did.
He,
Yes, I
he
did.
he probably ignored your slander.
Well, what can I tell you? Yeah, after a while, people get used to it, So let's bring in another brother, my man Reggie. Reggie is with us tonight. Thank you for joining. What's up, Reg?
Man, y'all got me on Monday, man. They worked me like a slave. I was tired.
Well, you're here today. Today's
I
Friday,
was
brother.
I was in the bed at 6:30.
Wow. Wow.
Oh.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah,
That's rough right there.
yeah.
You know?
I missed the good one Monday. My bad.
It's all good, man. You're here tonight. That's all that matters,
At
man.
least it wasn't on Tuesday. But go ahead, carry on.
Mac, let's get into the show, man. Go ahead. Do your thing, brother.
Hey, we
Wow.
got somebody else.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
It's right. Sir David, Mr. Sanford, sir. How are you?
Yeah,
Hey, what's up, brothers? How you doing?
What's going on?
He's
What's going
looking
on?
like he working for SWAT with the old.
Got his Barry White voice on tonight. What's
Oh my
going on?
god. Wait. It doesn't end. Hold on. We got the mad scientist on with us as well.
What?
Yeah,
That's
we got
it.
a full
Full
house.
house. Full house.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Full house. And he's smiling too. What's up,
That's a
bro?
good one. What's happening, the guy?
All right, let's
Doing well,
get
everybody.
into it.
Doing well.
All right,
Happy
that's what's
Friday.
up. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Let's
We
get
got a
this.
full house tonight. Everybody, let's not talk over one another, especially me.
Yes.
And we're gonna start with some baseball. New York Yankees. They traded catcher Gary Sanchez, third baseman Gio Urshela, and they received third baseman Josh Donaldson, shortstop Isiah Kiner-Falefa. I said it wrong. I'm sorry. Catcher Ben Rortvedt, who I think they cut right after they made the move for him.
Wow.
And they re-signed catcher. They re-signed first baseman Anthony Rizzo for 2 years, $32 million. What are you guys' thoughts on the move the Yankees made the last 2 days?
I'll let anybody go first.
Let Yankee fans go first.
Yeah, I'll start with. Now we don't got to talk about Gary Sanchez swinging the balls in the dugout. That's a bonus. I don't care who they get playing catch. I heard they was going to sign Dave. I don't care.
Wow.
And y'all know up until that time, I defended Sanchez. I kept waiting for him to go back to be that Sanchez when he first came up. But it didn't happen, and we had this conversation when his offense slipped and his defense wasn't that good to begin with. You saw the wheels coming off, guys. I mean, unless somebody saw otherwise, just my honest opinion. We've watched this long enough. Urshela, let's be honest, guys. We had one standout season. Prior to coming to the Yankees, he was a utility player. He had that one very good season with the Yankees. And I know people are going to complain about Donaldson's contract. But that being said, they got a third baseman and a first baseman. My only question now is what happens with Glover Torres. So
back to second base or trade.
Well, then what happens? Then what happens to LeMahieu? You know, I just want the Yankees and Yankee fans to think of something. Instead of us doing what we normally do, let's try to fix this kid. You know, instead of just saying he's not what he was, let's try to at least fix him. Where he fits in, guys, I don't know. Because you got third base and you got second base third and first locked up. He can't play neither one of them positions. He didn't show that well at shortstop. Now you got a shortstop. Now, is your toss-up really LeMahieu and Glover Torres? I take LeMahieu in a New York minute, but, you know, what do you do with Glover Torres? That's my only question with the Yankees moving forward right now.
Wow.
Trade him. What are you going to get for him? You know, who's going to need maybe a shortstop, maybe a second baseman? I like the kid. I don't want to see them give up on him. I just think the moves they made sort of made him the odd man out.
Okay, good observation. Good observation. I want to touch on what you said about Sanchez. Unfortunately, like you described, the wheels was coming off the bus. But I think that's the fault of the Yankees organization. Okay, because again, we've heard about how they try to change their swing, because this was like when he first came up, he was seen as a pure hitter. You understand? Perhaps the best in the organization. You understand, when he first came up, and they tinkered and they tinkered and they tinkered, and they want this guy to become a pull hitter when he should be hitting to the opposite field, in the gaps with power. You understand? And I think that's what really screwed him up offensively.
I think that after a while, pitchers catch on to what hitters can't do. I mean, you could have the greatest coaches, the greatest hitting coaches in the world, but come on, guys, we've had these conversations for 3 years. I wasn't joking. Throw a curveball in the dugout and he's swinging. Sometimes you just can't teach stupid. Not calling him stupid. He had some stupid behavior. And again, him and Glover Torres, guys, where did they come off with just, you know, left foot out, leaning in, trying to hit the ball out the park in left field? And let's remember, guys, left center field in Yankee Stadium is pretty damn big.
For sure.
You know, everybody's not Carlos Stanton, but they fed into what gave them, for Torres, 20-something home runs, Sanchez 30 home runs. They fell in love with that. And we can blame the Yankees, long ball or bust. I get it. That's been a problem with us. But that being said, you got to adjust. The pitchers adjusted faster than he did. I'll just put it that way.
Now, I saw my man, the mad scientist, shaking his head no, quite frantically when I said. But I got a little beef with you, buddy. Okay.
Damn, let the guy wake up,
No. How dare you? No, I'm joking. What's the problem, scientist? Talk to me.
I watched Gary Sanchez when he actually played in the minors, and I saw the issues right off the bat. Now, yeah, he could hit to all fields, but since the minor leagues, he was a defensive liability.
Okay.
When he came to the major leagues and he was hitting to all fields, it was great watching. I mean, he was magic with the bat, but then you saw him behind the plate. And I said to myself, if he doesn't fix himself in the next couple of years, his whole game is going to suffer. Because Dom said it best. Pitchers are just quicker sometimes than hitters. Sanchez never adjusted on the hitting side, and he never improved at all on the defensive side. In fact, he got progressively worse. And then you saw an attitude change in him. It looked like he never gave a flying bleep about what was going on around him. Fans were turning on him. His coaches were turning on him. His teammates privately, never publicly, but privately, were turning on him. Gary Sanchez was the poster boy for being a liability for the Yankees for the last 2 years. When Brian Cashman came out and bluntly said we improved offensively and defensively at every single position that we traded for in the Josh Donaldson trade, he did not mince any words. His last words were, we definitely upgraded at catcher. Now, if that's not a damning indictment by what your now former team and your former GM now says about you, what makes you think that when he goes to the Twins, he's going to improve any better? Now, I look at this on the opposite side of what the true Twins traded to the Yankees. I got to tell you, getting Josh Donaldson, to me, was a masterstroke. That guy is a born freaking leader. The guy is a former MVP.
Right.
Now, have his numbers suffered the last couple of years? Yes, due to injury. However, if he stays healthy, the Yankees got themselves what I think is a pretty damn good third baseman, going forward. Now, the other trade, when they traded Luke Vogt, he was a fan favorite, but he was a guy that was just solid. It looks like the Yankees are putting all their eggs in the basket of Anthony Rizzo. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, at defense, defensively, we know Rizzo is a wizard. Offensively, he's not the same hitter he was when he was with the Cubs 3 years ago. That's for dang sure. So I definitely I'm definitely intrigued on what's going to happen on the corners this year. And behind the plate, we'll see what the Yankees do. I don't think they're done yet.
I don't think so either. Anybody else?
I just have a question because I don't follow the Yankees, but
shame on you.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't know how much this year I'm following the Mets. That's the whole baseball issue. That's a whole nother thing. But I'm asking about the two, Sanchez and Torres. What's the difference between the two where one had to leave and the other one you want to give him an opportunity to see if he can get better? Is it attitude?
Possibly.
Yeah, I'm really specifically speaking to Dom because Sanchez, you were very happy to see him leave, and Torres, you, even though he seemed like a man maybe without a position, you felt that he could turn it around. So I just was curious, what was the difference between them?
I think Torres shows a little more. Where, again, he wasn't the greatest shortstop, but he wasn't the worst shortstop either. Where
Don,
Gary
you
Sanchez,
got a little echo.
Yeah, I had it too. I'm not sure what it is.
Heard yours slightly.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to cut y'all off.
Okay.
that might have been a problem. Can you hear me, R?
I can hear you.
Again, to Dave's point, I think Gleba shows little, maybe teachable moments where Sanchez just never evolved at all. So, and I may be talking like this in 2 weeks when the Yankees get rid of Torres, depending on what and who they get for him.
So you gonna flip like a gymnast, huh?
Yeah, he's just the odd man out. I see that. So if the Yankees do decide to pull the trigger on him, I'll understand why. Unless by some strange stroke they trade LeMahieu and put all their chips in Gleba's basket.
I don't think they're trading LeMahieu. He's too good a player, too versatile, too good a hitter.
Yes.
If the Yankees trade Gleba Torres for a good 2 or 3 starting pitchers, I would thank him for his service and wish him the best.
Right.
Another Yankee that they were trying to get rid of quite aggressively is Miguel Andujar. I see his name popped up as far as being possibly traded, find a new home. What do you guys think about that?
He can't catch a break due to injury. He just got robbed in his home country.
Oh my God. Damn.
Urshela was in front of him, and other people were blocking him from other positions because they try to move him to another position. He might be someone who's got to be traded. To David's question about Gleyber, I guess his versatility. He could play second base. Can't really play shortstop, but he could play shortstop. And like Dom and the mad scientist said, his attitude versus Gary Sanchez's attitude. Gary Sanchez got very surly with the media, with teammates, with fans. And maybe not being in the spotlight of New York City is better for him, for Gary Sanchez. And maybe if they trade Gleyber, it might be better for him. Some people can't handle New York City.
I think what's the name? Before we hear from the scientists, I think Andujar will be the biggest mystery to me over the last 3 years. I understand he got hurt.
Right.
But I understand what he did before he got hurt. That one season that he should have won Rookie of the Year was better than any season Urshela had, except that run he had with the Yankees. And it still wasn't the total package that Andujar gave you, and people complained about his defense. That year he had 13 errors as a rookie. Urshela had more than 13 errors in a season. To me, guys, I'm just talking about me. I consider that the biggest mystery. What happened to this kid? I mean, I hope they do let him go somewhere else and he thrives, maybe the National League, so we don't got to get much. I wish him the best, man, because I believe he's got some raw talent.
Exactly.
I don't know what happened, guys. That's a mystery.
Oh, and y'all know I'm so happy Luke Voigt is out of here.
Yes. Yes. Well, praise be.
Listen,
I'll let the side. God forbid something happens to Rizzo, we won't be saying that.
Well, you got LeMahieu to play first, and I think Gallo could play first too.
No, I don't want to see.
And he could play third base.
This is the Yankees' problem. They keep trying to say the mad scientist is a left fielder, but he could play catcher. Dave's a catcher, but he can play center field. We got to stop doing that.
Dom, just to let you know, when I was much younger in softball, I used to play catcher. Now, that's why I have no more knees, but I'm just saying.
We got to get beyond that, guys. Serious. Because we tried it with Gleyber. Gleyber was actually a good prospect coming up as a shortstop. But as time went on, he became a better second baseman. It's a little easier to play second. The pivot's a little different. We understand all of that. But again, LeMahieu is a third baseman and a second baseman. Thank God he could do both of them. He filled in at first base, but I don't know if I want him to be
the backup
first baseman. So I don't know if the Luke Voigt thing will come back to bite us. Because Rizzo is getting up there in the age, So we'll see. I don't want to regret it. I think Voigt needed to move on. Maybe he could, blossom somewhere else. I just hope it don't bite us in the ass. That's all.
I just want to say, I'm sorry, just real quick, Matt Scientist. When Dom, you were talking about players playing out of position or different positions, it just took me back. Remember when the Mets had, of course, Mookie and Dykstra platooning.
Yep.
And then they got rid of both of them, and they got Juan Samuel from the Phillies, a second baseman, and put him in center field.
Yeah.
And it was horrific.
It was tragedy. I just had a flashback.
Why?
Hey, one thing I can say, the Mets kind of lucky when they moved Mitchell from third base to left field. That's one time.
Well, Mitchell actually during the '86 run, he played first base, he played second base, he played a couple games at shortstop,
left field,
third, he played left, right, he played everywhere.
Yep.
But at the left field, it wasn't a big a drop off as like what Dave just said. You get Sam Well, and you're gonna make him a center fielder.
Yeah.
I mean that probably happened once in a lifetime. I think Mickey Mantle was a shortstop. Ended up in the outfield, but that don't happen all the time.
No,
guys.
did you see Piazza in the outfield?
No.
No. They tried him out. They tried it first with Hundley when they got Piazza, and they put Hundley out in the outfield because they wanted his bat. He did better than the Piazza experiment, but yeah.
Yeah, bad moves. Let's move on a little bit.
I think Matt Sanchez, you wanted to say something? I cut you off.
Well, considering the fact that you just opened up some seriously old wounds with that Juan Samuel thing, I mean, now, no, there's one thing that I do. It's actually the great segue that Mark is really good for. The Yankees wouldn't have had this problem if they decided to open up the pocketbook, which they didn't, and would have went after a certain first baseman that happened to be available that is no longer available.
Yeah, because that first baseman is
Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman, who signed a 6-year, $162 million deal.
He was
with
shook.
the LA Dodgers.
He was shook.
He was shook.
He was shook.
Please let me start.
Go ahead.
Out of all the teams,
yes,
out of all the teams in the major leagues that did not need Freddie Freeman in their lineup, it was the Los Angeles freaking Dodgers.
Yep.
I look at that team now. On paper, I see this team finishing 120-42.
On paper, yeah.
Because let's be honest, they have the last not one, not two, not three, not four, last 4 MVPs in the National League now on their squad.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
They still, what do you call it? It was almost like, Andrew, I saw the interview with Andrew Friedman, and Andrew Friedman said Freddie Freeman is a really good baseball player, and I saw the Cheshire Cat grin, like, literally go across his face, and the first thing I thought was like, oh my God, they're going to sign him. And then I saw the note that Freddie put on his Instagram page, thanking Atlanta for everything that they did, because Atlanta put their eggs in the Matt Olson basket. Why? And then not even 12 hours later, the news broke. And I sat there and I was like, good God Almighty, he's getting $27 million a year. And then I hearkened back to the last show that I appeared on here. And I had a very nice conversation with Mr. Jones about Freddie Freeman. And if Mr. Jones remembers correctly, I said the benchmark for Freddie Freeman would be anywhere between 5 to 6 years and about anywhere between $150 to $200 million, and it's something that the Yankees could afford. Well, apparently the Yankees didn't even make an offer. It was basically the Dodgers. They saw, they conquered, they got their guy, and now they're sitting back with one of the craziest lineups that I have ever seen in the history of my life when it comes to Major League Baseball. This actually reminds me, I'll open up another old wound to Mets fans. This actually reminds me when the Mets made their sign, when they got Vince Coleman and they had all these other guys on their squad, and everybody thought this was one of the better teams on paper, and it turned out to be the worst team money can buy.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what we're seeing today is the antithesis of that. Because if the Dodgers in the next 2 to 3 years do not win a World Series, this will go down as one of the biggest failures in the history of Major League Baseball. Trust me when I say that. But the Atlanta Braves, they only won like one World Championship, but they won a bunch of pennants and stuff like that. Yeah. The Atlanta Braves were pretty much playing with house money for many, many, many years. All their players stayed for for pretty much the longest time.
Yeah.
You talking about the old Atlanta Braves?
Yes, I'm talking about the old Atlanta Braves.
Yeah.
So,
who I hate.
The Gravins, the Maddoxes,
Chipper
the
Jones,
Smokes.
Joneses.
Okay.
Yeah.
This team is
I
not
actually
what
like
we're
them.
seeing here. What we're seeing here is certainly not homegrown.
Yeah.
Well, outside of Cody Bellinger, what we're seeing here is certainly not homegrown.
I'm not mad at the Dodgers. I think, hey, you do what you got to do to win, and Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Justin Turner, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Chris Taylor, and Cody Bellinger.
I wish them all the success of the Lakers.
Yeah, exactly, Dave. Because I was getting ready to say something.
I ain't mad at that. I wish the New York teams would do that. But now the New York Yankees want to be fiscally smart and cheap. Okay.
Do what George Steinbrenner used to do?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, there you have it.
I will say
he ain't his daddy.
It's funny though, in basketball, they don't like what has transpired over the last 10 years in terms of buying a championship. But those that are Yankee fans, you didn't mind that, and I didn't mind it either. I loved it. Buy championships if you can.
I will say this though. They're inches away from fulfilling the mad scientist's dream, because they had, as y'all did, the 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. They had 1, 2, 3 fingers before they got the 4th finger, and they only walked away with 1 World Series. And I think that was in the strike-shortened season and COVID, wasn't it? So will it? I'm not saying it won't. I'm not a Dodger fan. I could give a rat's ass about the Dodgers. But they haven't, all the pitching, all the 1, 2, 3, 4 MVPs they've had, and they walked away with 1 ring. So, I mean, Dave struck me funny when he said the Lakers. You know, we said the same thing. Some people, not me. I said the Lakers had the best 2002 basketball team.
Yeah, you did say that.
Just realized it was 2022. So we'll see. You know, you got to play the game on the field, not on paper. So
Here's one thing though that people have to understand though, when it comes to the Dodgers. That pitching staff that they have right now, as constructed, you know, that may be the Achilles heel. Now, granted, you have Walker Buehler and Julio Arias, excuse me. You know, you have Clayton Kershaw, but let's be honest, this is not the Clayton Kershaw from a few years ago.
No.
This is different.
And you got the sex fiend is being punished.
Yes, and you got the head case who trolled us Met fans, made us heart bleed for him, and we couldn't have been happier with how that turned out for us. He's the Dodgers' headache. But if he were to come back to pitch, if he were to come back and pitch Major League Baseball again, then I could actually see the Dodgers. You know, their bullpen is strong. Their bullpen is absolutely strong. You know, when I said 120 and 42, I actually wasn't kidding. If they fire on all cylinders for a whole season, you know someone's going to go into a slump. But if they fire on all cylinders, man, I really, for the first time, I can actually say there's a 1-to-1 favorite in Major League Baseball. It's the first time I can actually say that with the way that this team is constructed. It's scary. And I know Dom's, you got to play it on the field. If they play it on the field and if they click, we're all going to sit there and we're all probably going to witness one of the greatest teams to ever be assembled play on a Major League Baseball diamond. And the amount of money that will be rolling into Los Angeles this year alone, because they're going to sell out every single game. They're going to sell out every single playoff game. They're going to make money hand over fists, jersey sales. It doesn't matter.
Well, the Dodgers translate in terms of people wear their gear.
Yeah, they do.
In fact, I need to cop me a Dodger hat because the colors are fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Get a Brooklyn Dodger hat.
I only own one thing that's Dodgers, and it has a B on it on the hat, not the LA.
Okay, not the LA. Gotcha.
Hold on, fellas. I gotta interject real quickly.
Oh God.
Our brother Ronan has children in his crib. He said they eat. Bruh, all I can say is kick them out. Tell them to go to
kick kids out the house
and kick your own out too. Listen, my grandfather used to do that. He's like, "Hey, get out."
Speaking of the funny story, before y'all talk about football, my wife and I are going to go on a trip from here. We're going to hit a few places in Florida. We're leaving Sunday. Y'all know my background. She's trying to get me to pack 2 days before we leave. Honey, don't you know I did this shit for a living? I mean, I have 20 minutes to pack. You want me to pack 2 days ahead of time? Get out of here. Crazy.
Well, all I have to say about the Dodgers is I hope come next November they are the Stratomatic champions.
Good reference, brother. I like that.
Right, and with that, we're gonna move on. A lot of things happening in the NFL.
A
lot of big things.
It's been crazy.
It's quiet.
You know this guy. Oh no, he's gone. He's gonna be gone. No, that's the real story right there. Houston Texans trade quarterback Deshaun Watson to the Cleveland Browns. Houston got 1,001 picks. They got like 50 million first-round picks from Cleveland, and Cleveland gets Deshaun Watson. They also gave Deshaun Watson $230 million, guaranteed, fully guaranteed for 5 years.
Word. That's crazy.
No, it's not.
Go ahead. I see you. Don't let the words flow out.
That's the
Turn your mic on.
That's the problem. I, for the first time ever on this show, I'm speechless because I never expected Deshaun Watson to request a trade to the Cleveland Browns. Well, my money, if I were a betting man, I would have lost my house because I fully expected him to either go to the Saints or the Falcons. Right. I never
that was the rumor he was talking to teams in the NFC South.
Right.
Yes, I never in a million years expected him to pick Cleveland. And
that's how bad he wanted out of Houston. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, what do you call it? He's been wanting out of Houston for the last 2 years, but you know, there was nothing that could be done last year because of what was going on legally for him. But when I saw 3 first-round draft picks, a 3rd rounder, and a 5th rounder, you know, part of me was like,
and a 2nd rounder too, I think.
No, it was only 5 picks overall. I looked at it, I was like, you know, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But then I saw the contract and I was like, oh my God. You're paying a guy who pretty much sat out a year of football. Now, before that, he was a playoff quarterback. He really was. He is a dynamic football player. But you're getting someone that hasn't played in a full calendar year. You're getting someone that has enough baggage that can fill a Boeing 737 MAX with everything that's been going on the civil side of its legal problems. You don't know what Roger Goodell is going to do if he has to hand down a punishment because of said civil issues that he's having with, legally. The saving grace in all this may be the criminal charges there were no criminal charges filed against him. They pretty much like threw that out the window. He's going to be taking depositions from now until God knows when. And he's going to plead the Fifth Amendment every time, I think, because he doesn't want to like incriminate himself, any further. I'm just saying right now that, I mean, it really, if you look at it on paper, you have Watson at quarterback, you got Chubb and Hunt in the backfield. You just got Amari, you just got brought in Amari Cooper. You possibly can bring in another solid wide receiver. You're getting rid, you're keeping Njoku. You're getting rid of that piece of trash, Austin Hooper, who was overpaid from the beginning. Your offensive line is slightly stronger this time around than it was last year because I believe they made a couple signings this offseason. But oh my God, the press is going to have a field day on this. They're having a field day on this. Cleveland?
It was the money. It was the money. Follow the money. They offered him the bag. He took the bag.
Yeah. I hung around for this. I thought, guys, and I'm not a big football fan, but I thought he was going to the Steelers.
No.
I just thought, with the issues he's having, the type of ownership Pittsburgh has, they'll, keep it smooth. But he's going to Cleveland now, unless they pull a rabbit out their hat. They just lost, what was his name, Landry.
Yep.
So is he going to, Houston 1.0?
Well, I'm gonna say this, Dom. The head coach there is he was a good offensive coordinator. He couldn't run his full offense with Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield can't make all the throws. Baker Mayfield is a mediocre talent for the NFL. Now he can run his offense because you got a quarterback who is a top 5 talent. And you got Amari Cooper, who is one of the better wide receivers. Like the mad scientist said, they can sign another wide receiver because there are a few available. They re-signed the tight end. The 2 running backs are great. And their defense is a solid defense. I've been saying for the past 3 years that they were a playoff team on paper until I saw Baker Mayfield play. And he's the reason why they can't advance. They went to one. I think they went to one playoff with him.
They did. Well, what happened was, see, I'm not a Baker Mayfield hater at all. I'm not.
I don't hate him.
I think he's a solid quarterback. I just really feel that last year he got a bum rap because he played hurt practically the whole year. I mean, he was playing with like injuries that any lesser human being would say, no, I'm not going to play. I'm going to sit down. And he wanted to show, he was trying to show leadership. In the end, he ended up hamstringing the Browns because if memory serves me right, they were the preseason favorite to win the AFC North last year.
They were.
And it turned out that, it didn't, it didn't work out last year because of all the injuries that they had. And the other thing that people have to understand, Baker Mayfield wasn't the only injury they had last year. They had a lot of injuries on both sides of the ball. I mean, that team could not have their starting 11 on game 1 on the field at all from games 2 all the way through 17 last year. I look at it like this. Baker took it off the field. He did. And when they said that they were looking into trading for Deshaun Watson, he put out that post on Instagram saying, "Thank you, Cleveland, but goodbye." And then Mortensen comes out the following day saying, "You know what? We don't need this. We don't need this drama. We need someone that needs to act like an adult." That has been Mayfield's problem since he was at Oklahoma.
Somebody on my page, one of my brothers on my page, Dawood, he said Baker Mayfield cannot go down the field, bottom line. He also can't play from behind.
Well, all I know is that although the Browns said they're going to not trade Baker Mayfield, obviously that changes now. The question I have is, what are you going to get for him? Where is he going to go?
4th round pick, 3rd round pick.
Well, doesn't he want to? He's been lobbying to try to get traded to Indianapolis.
Right.
What I'm hearing.
Here's the thing, though.
But does Indianapolis want him?
Glad you said that, because Andrew Berry used to work in the front office with the Indianapolis Colts. He's very close with the Urshela.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it ironic that they put it out there that they want to deal with an adult? That gets into the Urshela's ear. Could that quote be something to?
Do y'all think he's a good fit in Indianapolis?
No.
I'm not. Honestly, I'm not impressed by the dude, to be honest. So you know what I'm saying? To be perfectly honest, I don't think he's a good fit anywhere. How about that?
Okay,
I'm just saying, because hold on, I'm just saying I have not been impressed with this dude at all. I'm sorry, he's up and down. I mean, that's just what it is. You know,
he's mediocre.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, if you check his record, it's probably 30-30.
Nope.
His career. What is it?
29-30.
Oh, okay, I'm off by one. Okay, my bad. But again, that word that starts with M, mediocre. You know
absolutely, Ronnie.
I'm just like, yo, come on. Wow.
And Dawood says send him to the Colts. Listen, the Colts, if they get the right quarterback, are a playoff team that I think if things swing right for them, because they have a great running back, they have an emerging wide receiver, defense is solid, their offensive line is pretty good. They get the right quarterback, they can make some noise.
And he's not the right quarterback, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm not endorsing him. I'm not his lawyer. I'm not going to lawyer up for Baker Mayfield at all.
Yeah, I mean, if he was decent, Cleveland wouldn't have traded for Deshaun Watson.
You're right.
That speaks volumes. So let him stand there and hold the clipboard and watch a quarterback play.
Here's a stupid question, though. No, here's a stupid question. Why didn't they just include him in the deal to the Texans?
Because the Texans didn't want him.
That's great.
I'll tell you who may be the quarterback. Maybe the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts next year. It's a wild card, but someone that has not yet been talked about yet. I'm going to go with Jameis Winston.
Nice.
You put Jameis Winston with Frank Reich. You put Jameis Winston with Frank Reich. You put him with T.Y. Hilton if the guy could ever stay freaking healthy. You put him with Jonathan Taylor and that.
Oh man. Oof.
And that line. We saw what Winston could do before he blew out his knee last year with the Saints, with the proper coaching and a dynamic offense. Put him with Frank Reich in that offense. Dare I say, comeback player of the year?
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting thought.
What about what Ronan says? Indy should try to get Matty Ice, your boy, off.
Ronan, no.
Wow. Why you say that? Why you say that?
Because
is Danny Dimes better than Mayfield?
Hell yeah.
No, actually, I take Mayfield over Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about? Oh, shit. I thought you were talking about Matty Ice. My fault.
Excuse me.
No, he
his
was.
real name.
No, he was.
Kenny.
He was. But why, Matt? No.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why you say that,
And this is, you know what? Maybe I should just stop because right now I'm being petty. I'm being very petty right now. I'm not gonna lie. This is like
you petty.
I know, shocking. I know, it's shocking. I know. What a reach. I get it.
If I could wear pearls, I clutch them.
I'm just saying, this is very petty. I mean, this is a personal
Mark, I
It's
got
just
a good one for Mark.
Go ahead.
Which trade would you rank better? The Texans in Cleveland or Seattle and Denver?
Ooh.
I like the Seattle Denver.
I like, yeah. I like that one. I'm not
because Seattle's a better organization, and Houston right now the previous head coach / GM, he did severe damage to that team.
He screwed them up.
And
Bill O'Brien, horrible.
They are a long way from being a competent franchise, even though they did what you're supposed to do, which is they got a bag full of potential in the draft picks they got, so they can rebuild.
I gotta tell you guys, when I saw the Russell Wilson deal, I don't know if that was on the agenda for tonight, Mark, and sorry if I'm jumping the gun.
No, we spoke about that trade last week.
Okay. When I saw the Russell Wilson deal and I saw what Denver gave up, I said to myself, okay, what do you call it? It's very, very similar to the deal we just saw today. So it makes you wonder. No, it makes you wonder now. It makes you wonder if a top 5, top 10 quarterback becomes available. Because let's go back to last year, the Matt Stafford deal. Go back to last year,
which I loved, and I said was a good deal.
But you saw what the Rams gave up. They gave up Goff. They gave up a couple first-round picks to get Matt Stafford. That deal, I thought, would be the benchmark for Deshaun Watson being dealt.
Okay.
When Russell Wilson's deal happened now, it's the same, almost the same deal as what Cleveland gave the Texans for Watson. Now I ask everybody this. What would be the benchmark now for a top 5 quarterback going forward? If, say, someone is better than Russell Wilson, someone is better than Deshaun Watson. Now, I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers. Get that out of your head right now. I'm talking about a younger quarterbacks, guys that like, say, for example, here, I'll give you examples. Justin Herbert. Okay.
I knew he was going to say him.
Patrick Mahomes. Okay.
But here's the thing. None of those guys are in bad situations, and I don't think their teams.
Oh, no. It's a hypothetical now. It's a hypothetical now, though. Think about it. You saw what was dealt for Wilson. You saw what was dealt for Watson. Say one of those guys would have ever become available in the prime of their careers. Because remember, Justin Herbert now is going into, I believe, his 3rd year. Mahomes is going into his 5th year. They're still like in their 20s. They're not even reached their prime yet in football years when it comes to the quarterback position. If these guys were to ever get disenfranchised by the team that they're playing for right now and request a trade, what would your team offer? Because now the benchmark has been set of 3 first-round picks plus more.
Yeah.
If those guys were to become available, I would not be surprised if we see 4 first-round picks, possibly even 5.
Oh, that's crazy. 5?
No, think about it now. Think about it.
I'll tell you who might.
I can tell you right now, scientists, hold on, Mac. I can tell you right now, scientists, I can still see 3, believe it or not, number 1s, but now you're going to be including number 2s as well.
Right. Go ahead, Dom.
I would say maybe because I'm high on him and I like him. Maybe a Josh Allen.
I forgot about him. I'm sorry.
Because I'll tell you what, guys, we said this a little while ago. It's going to be sooner than later that this kid's going to be dominating the AFC. They've been knocking on that door.
For sure.
And then I don't want to jump because I'm going to leave in a minute. Then they went and got more defense. So,
yes, they did.
You get him more snaps, and come on, man. We saw
well, you can say the same for Herbert too.
Second. That wasn't.
Hold on a second. Ronan said that, which I was gonna say he beat me to it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Let's put it like this. Okay. The AFC is going to be Armageddon. There are going to be teams that are probably going to finish out. There are going to be teams that are going to be finishing like 10-7 or 11-6 that probably won't even make the playoffs.
Right.
Absolutely.
You know how scary that's going to be?
Yep.
You know what this also reminds me of? It's like the old NBA reference. Remember the NBA, what do you call the Western Conference, where they had all 8 teams finish over 500?
Right. Yes.
This is the AFC West. I mean, the AFC right now reminds me of the Western Conference of the NBA.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we move on, I got to bring up a subtopic. The Kansas City Chiefs, our favorite team. That's our favorite team.
Whatever.
They signed, according to him, Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be on the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think of that deal?
Christian McCaffrey also.
As if they needed any more ammunition.
Christian McCaffrey also.
They got Christian McCaffrey?
Yes.
When?
What?
Yes.
No.
Look.
I didn't hear that.
I heard it.
Heard that.
What? No.
Okay. So let me just say my initial impression of them getting Juju and now McCaffrey. Again, this team is going to be, I'm going with this, Mac. You remember Doug Moe, the coach of the Denver Nuggets? And
absolutely.
The high-powered offense with no defense. This is what this team is going to be. Kansas City is not going to be, and you could take this to the bank. They are not smelling a championship anytime soon. I said it. Word. They will not be seeing a championship.
Do you know who Juju reminds me? The Juju signing reminds me of?
What's that?
Sammy Watkins.
Wow, Sammy Watkins. Okay.
The reason why I say that is because Sammy Watkins was the perfect foil for Tyreek Hill. And Sammy Watkins was the second wide receiver on their Super Bowl winning squad. When Sammy Watkins left and signed with the Ravens, I felt personally it was going to be a big loss for that offense. And I have to be honest with you. Although Mahomes still puts up video game numbers, he does seem to struggle when he tries to force the ball too much to Tyreek and to Kelsey. I don't think he trusts Hardeman or any of those other guys. You bring in now Juju. You're now bringing in Juju. He will blend right in to be that number 2. Juju, let's be honest. He was a great number 2 with Pittsburgh. He was never a good number 1. This is his comfort zone. So now he fits very well into that comfort zone. That offense is going to be a lot better this year than it was last year. You saw the struggles that Mahomes had in the beginning of the regular season. He turned it on in the second half, but you also saw the struggles, what happened against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Exactly.
Blanketed Hill and Kelsey. He did not have another weapon that he could use. Smith is now that Smith-Schuster is now that weapon.
Right.
I can agree with that.
Right.
He is that.
Said Sammy Watkins was the X factor, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree with what the science is saying, but it's at the same point too. So they're gonna have to outscore people because that defense is horrible.
And they might lose the Honey Badger.
Exactly.
They signed that kid. They signed that kid, that safety. Forgive me for not Justin Reed, I think his name is, which I thought was a great signing. But there were so many holes on that defense that they have to go out and get something else. But I think that correct me if I'm wrong, Mark or Rodney, they're cap strapped right now.
Yes, they are.
And Reggie, they didn't sign. There's been no move for McCaffrey yet.
No, I'm looking that up now with this Panthers thing. I live here in Carolina. That would have been big.
That would have been a big. Yeah, you already know exactly.
My thing with McCaffrey, I wouldn't trade for him if I was anybody because we said this on the show. Once he signed the contract, it was going to be downhill for him, especially he's a smaller running back, and they constantly use this guy.
Constantly.
But if the Panthers get in the hunt like they're trying with somebody brought him up a second ago, Jameis Winston, you might be able to prolong his career some because he still gives you what most running backs don't. He's a hell of a receiver. He's a good running back, but they've been nickel and dime.
They overused him.
So, but they're one of the teams in the run-in for Jameis Winston.
He would fit Kansas City. They already have two solid running backs.
Right.
You don't have to abuse him anymore and give him 20, 25 touches a game. You can give him 15 now.
Go ahead.
The thing about the Kansas City running game, though, I mean, if Hilaire Smith can get 20 touches a game, and Williams or whoever else can get like those 10, somewhat get 5-10 touches a game out of the backfield, whether through passes or like draws and stuff like that. Then the wear and tear, wouldn't be a problem. But again, it comes back to health. I mean, we saw the Kansas City running backs last year.
They all had injuries at some point.
Yeah.
In the playoffs, they were using Jerick freaking McKinnon.
Right.
Good point by Roman.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Dawood said Mahomes breaks down in his mechanics when he's left to himself, to improvise.
That's facts. You know what I'm saying? That's facts. You know what? I'm seeing, and I brought this up to my man Dwayne while we was at work or whatnot. This is not part of the show, not a topic officially, but it's a quick question, you guys. Do you guys feel like they're kind of like the running back isn't really a focal point anymore?
There's only a few who are, and they've devalued the running back to where teams have 2-3 guys, You know what I'm saying?
It depends.
I know what you're saying.
It really depends on the offensive philosophy, because when you look at the running backs up and down the NFL, there's only 6 or 7 that have like one bona fide stud running back days.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Colts with Jonathan Taylor. You look at the Vikings with Dalvin.
Look at the Titans.
You look at the Titans. Well, obviously the Titans with Derrick Henry.
Right.
Then you look
Dallas.
I would say no. I can't even
Dallas.
say Dallas.
You can't say Dallas no more.
Not
with that. No.
Because the way that they were using both Zeke and Pollard, to me is saying that that it's pretty much becoming like a 60-40 platoon now these days. And then you could say the same thing about the Browns with Hunt and Chubb. The Rams. You look at the Bengals, I could actually say with Mixon.
Yep. I was about to mention
the Bengals have Mixon. I mean, they sprinkle in like something here and there for the other backs, but basically it's the Joe Mixon show. But gone are the days of, say, Priest Holmes, Ricky Williams, Curtis Martin, guys of that ilk. I mean, you really can't find guys like that much in the NFL anymore.
Right.
I mean, I'm going through my brain on other teams, and I want to say with the Giants, Saquon Barkley, but
he was banged up a little last year.
I could go. I could say, what's his name on? What's that guy's name? Akers on the Rams.
Well, he was.
But when he came back, you see that he was like, that was the guy. Henderson, maybe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But
I would say for the playoffs, I would say that I would agree with you on that, but not for the whole season.
No, not for the whole season. But I'm just saying, I could see them like this is like a carryover effect. You know what I'm saying? Because he did get that serious injury, and they didn't expect him to come back. He came back, and he was playing. So I could see that going into the next season with him being like the focal back for that team.
Okay.
You know?
See, when you play fantasy football and you go into a draft, like a complete redraft for the first 3 rounds,
right?
You need to take that running back.
Yes, sir.
Because if you go past like say McCaffrey, Taylor, and whoever else was mentioned, and you go down to like the 6th or 7th or 8th ranked running back, all of a sudden you're like scratching your head, like, oh my God, who do I go with? Because it's almost like playing the lottery.
True that. Wow. True that.
This year, I had 8 teams.
Uh-oh.
I won 1 ship and came in second in 4 others.
You think In the Paint Media is going to have a fantasy football league this year?
I'm not going to run it.
Don't look at me. I'll definitely
he doesn't do fantasy.
Nah. Don't look over this way. Nah, not me. I got enough on my plate already. Okay. No, sir. Well, we might make you the official ambassador of that, Nick.
Twist my arm.
Twist just a little bit, right?
Well, that's hilarious.
I'm gonna get at you. Trust me, I'm gonna get at you on that.
If you get me 10 guys from In the Paint Media that come on this show that want to go fantasy football, that want to do fantasy football, I'm in.
Okay, that's a bet. I got you.
And it would be great. And it would be great for bragging rights because would be dragging week in, week out.
Nice.
Well, I think I could raise up 10 guys. Let me work on that. Yeah.
Anyway, I saw your friend's post about not being 60-40 with Dallas. It felt like to me that, it felt to me like they forgot what the bell cow was. That's the reason why they gave the monster contract to Zeke. I mean, Zeke had a bad year, not last year, the year before. Zeke did have a bad year the year before, but you feed the guy. The guy, we've seen it. The guy gets better as the game goes on. If you feed him the ball,
he was dinged up, though.
Yeah, he was dinged up this year.
Right, but it just seemed to me that the coaching staff, for some reason, like from 2019 to 2020, have lost confidence in him.
Our friend, he's a Cowboy fan. He's a Cowboy fan. Me and him text, and he has said that the Cowboys have been running the same offense that they ran in the 90s.
Wow.
And this is in the 90s anymore. And there's truth to that.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore is. I mean, you got CeeDee Lamb and you had Amari Cooper. You're supposed to feed those 2 guys.
Well, they don't have Amari Cooper anymore. It's going to be Michael Gallup.
Yep.
Right. Who's always injured.
Yeah.
And I like him.
Same.
do I. You know how many times I got burned by him in my fantasy leagues last year because of his injuries?
I know.
Yeah.
That's why I left him alone this year.
No, I'm a glutton for punishment. I drafted him again.
Wow.
So some guys never learn.
No, I never do. I've won many and I've lost many.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
We won't talk about the time I had the #1 pick and I picked Matthew Stafford.
Wow. Okay.
Ask all about that one, R.
I will. Trust me.
Let's roll to the next topic.
Okay.
Green Bay Packers trade wide receiver Davante Adams to the Las Vegas Raiders.
I got a bone to pick. This one. I'm a Viking fan. No, I'm a Viking fan. But this one, if I were a Green Bay Packer fan, I would be pissed off beyond belief right now. And I'll tell you. The
Raiders proceeded to give him 5 years, $141 million or $141.3 million. I'm a Raider guy. I'm a New York guy, but the Raiders and the Steelers are my two other teams that I like. And I like this move. Derek Carr gets his buddy, his former teammate.
Yeah.
They have some nice players on that team. Thank God Gruden and Mayock are no longer there. And yes, mad scientist, I would be pissed if I was a Green Bay Packer fan, but I don't like them, so I'm laughing at them.
I hate their guts. I'm a Minnesota Viking fan.
Oh yeah.
I hate their guts. What do you call it? I couldn't have been happier.
Wait. Hold up. You a Viking fan?
Yeah, he's a Viking.
How you feel about Kirk Cousins?
Oh Lord.
Oh, here we go.
Rodney, how much time do we have left?
We don't have a lot, but we covered that last week.
We'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
That's a whole show right there.
Let's stay on topic before I get the ticks. Go get the ticks.
Go get the ticks.
Anyway.
Go get the ticks.
Anyway, now rumor has it that Green Bay offered a crap ton more money for Adams to stay. And Adams said no, he wants to go. He wanted to go to Las Vegas, and Green Bay pretty much was like, okay, if that's what you want, that's what we'll get. We'll get whatever we can from the Raiders, and we'll do that.
What did they get?
No, supposedly the front office told Aaron Rodgers about it, and Aaron Rodgers, out of all the things that I've heard, Aaron Rodgers gives his blessing for this to actually
maybe
happen.
he wanted him to get paid.
Green Bay was offering him at least $25 million more. This is from what I'm hearing from all the pundits out there. But $25 million more to stay in Green Bay. They were willing to put themselves in Saints cap hell to do so.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at what Ronan just said.
Oh, what did you say? Might as well show it. Oh, my God.
That's crazy.
Ronan, if I had a cap, I'd tip my cap to you.
Man. Wow.
Getting back to this. Look.
Yeah.
I understand. Look, I understand he wanted to go to. He bought a mansion in Las Vegas, during the off season prior to this all happening and stuff like that.
He bought a mansion.
But the thing that bothers me the most in all this is that if Rodgers knew that this was going to happen even before he signed his contract, why would he sign his contract knowing that he's going to lose basically his best receiver for the last 6 years? Now, there was a stat out there that
said he got the bag. It's all about the money.
When there was a stat out there that when Davante Adams was not healthy and not playing, Green Bay Packers went 8-0 without him being there.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that.
When I saw that, I was like, okay, is that because now Rodgers is forced to spread the ball around, not force the ball to Davante Adams 10, 20 times, 15 to 20 times a game? But if you look at the wide receiver core that they have right now, dare I say, it's pretty subpar. I mean, Montavious Scalding Jones, whatever his name is, can't stay healthy. Randall Cobb lost 2 steps in the last 3 years. You know, getting Robert Tonyan back is a plus, but it's not a game changer.
No.
You know, now does this force Green Bay's hand that they have to go into the free agency?
They have the great Alan Lazard and the great Malik Taylor.
Okay. Let me know when I have to give a reaction to that.
I don't even know who they are.
Exactly. That's the whole point. I'm like, okay, I'm sitting here like, and?
Do you get the feeling? But do you get the feeling now that the Packers are reaching out to Jarvis Landry's agent, or even possibly OBJ's agent, because unless they do something, we're good. What do you call it? Right now, their number 1 wide receiver is Alan Lazard on the depth chart. He is the number 1 wide receiver. Now, when the kid is healthy, which is another, he's good.
Yeah, he is. He's solid.
He's solid. I mean, I wish I could say Randall Cobb is a great number 2, but this is not 2013 anymore.
Damn.
Yep. Ronan agrees with you.
It's solid, but it's unspectacular.
Yep.
I really do feel they have to go out and make one more move to shore it up.
Hey, Jarvis Landry is available.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
So is Jamison Crowder.
Who?
Jamison Crowder. The great Jamison Crowder.
Not impressed. Next.
Cole Beasley is available.
Rodney, if you put Jamison Crowder on the Green Bay Packers, you're looking at, and I'm not saying, I'm not blowing smoke when I say this, you're looking at 81,007.
81 what?
81,007.
Ugh.
Those are about his average. That's about his average when he's healthy.
Okay.
When he's healthy. I mean,
exactly.
What do you call it? The problem was he played for the New York Jets the last 2 years.
For sure. That's why I was like, ugh. I'm sorry. I'm just not impressed. You know?
Right.
I'm not impressed. I'm just not.
So let me ask y'all this. What does Davante Adams bring to the Raiders?
A bona fide number 1. Bona fide number 1. What do you call it? Hunter Renfro's stock just went shooting up even further than what it is now. Josh Jacobs is going to be running roughshod out of that backfield.
And don't forget somebody else.
Tight
end.
What's his name? I said Max Crosby. That's not it. Oh, that Waller is like going to have the middle of the field.
Yep.
It's just a shame that they're the 4th best team in the AFC West.
Right.
LA Chargers, baby. LA Chargers.
How do y'all feel about Carr as a QB? Does getting Davante Adams make him better?
Yes.
As a trigger
I've always liked him prior. I think personally he's got a bad rap. It's not his fault that John Gruden was the biggest douchebag walking on the freaking planet.
Yep.
People seem to forget.
That says a lot in Las Vegas.
He wasn't that good before John Gruden, though.
Yeah, but people also seem to forget the year that the Raiders went 13-3 in the regular season, and it was the last regular season game where Donald Penn rolled up on Carr's ankle and broke it, because he got blocked all the way. He tripped over. He got beat on a rush, and he tried to save his quarterback, and he ended up injuring him. And after that season, Carr started getting a bad rap because, for a year he really wasn't right. He couldn't plant the foot as well as he could. His mechanics were a little bit, screwy, but he, to me, he's gotten better regardless of who his head coach was. Last year, I think, was his best year. Considering that, you were playing for a guy who was like your special teams coordinator as your head coach for like for half the season. Now he's got all these weapons. What do you call it? He's going to be a top 10 quarterback. But again, unfortunately, you look at the division that he's in. He's the fourth best quarterback in his own division, and it pains me to even say that. It does. Put him in the AFC North, he's the second best. Put him in the AFC East, he's the best. No, second best.
No, he's not. Second best.
Second best. I corrected myself. Put him in the South. Holy crap! Put him in the South, he's the best.
The AFC South.
AFC South.
Yeah.
He's in the freaking AFC West where you have Herbert, Patrick Mahomes,
Titans,
and Wilson. That's just unfair.
Right. Ronan said, getting back to Green Bay, he did say this on Monday. Green Bay has had two Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the last 30 years.
Nice.
3 Super Bowl appearances and 2 Super Bowl wins. Rodgers is great, but F him. I agree.
He's right.
Yeah, let's move on a little.
Well, I just want to say that I'm depressed as a Jets fan because we don't have any chance.
Hey. We're going to get to the Jets in a minute.
Wait.
You know what? In fact, we're going to go to the Jets since you brought
Hold on. Can I touch on something real quick?
Yes.
Does the Las Vegas Raiders have a good offensive line?
Yes.
They do. Okay.
They do.
Okay.
They do.
God bless them.
They don't. What do you call it? They get a lot of guys. What do you call it? The reason why people think about that is because a couple of years before that they were crap, but in the last 2 years they've improved that offensive line greatly. It's about the only thing that I could say that Mike Mayock actually did well on.
Wow. Ronan is going in tonight. Oh my God.
That's because them kids is eating all his food, so he mad. So he got to take it out on
us.
He got to take it out on Aaron Rodgers in that horrible. I don't know if he went to Supercuts, but he ain't looking. It's not tight. You're a multimillionaire. Fix that.
Ronan is mad because nobody wants to take those kids because gas is too high. So leave them where they are.
Yeah. Since you brought him up, David, the New York Jets have upgraded their secondary. They signed cornerback DJ Reed and safety Jordan Whitehead. I know they made some moves. They signed a couple of tight ends. I think they made a move with a couple of offensive linemen also.
Oh God.
Oh, don't ask me. That's I like to watch them because the colors are nice, but I don't care that much. I'm an old time Jets fan, and then I kind of like
you just
I watch it, but
you turn it on, and then you see they're losing 20-3 at the half, and you move on. I can't.
Yeah, it's first quarter, and
I get it. DJ Reed is a solid cover corner. He's on the small side. They just gave him 3 years, $33 million. He's familiar with the head coach because I think he played for him in San Francisco for a year. Again, he's a good he's a good
cover.
No, he's not a good man on man cornerback. He's better in the zone. He's a good cover 1 zone and he's a good cover 3 zone. Good cover 3 cornerback.
Is that going to help the Jets at all this year?
Well, that's what they play. The Jets play a lot of cover 1. They play a lot of cover 3. So he'll help them in that regard. He's better than what they had. They had a bunch of rookies playing last year.
Yeah, but in that AFC, what are they really accomplishing? Because they're not a playoff team. they weren't a playoff team before. So they're doing all this.
I do have to say the Jets have had a very low-key, solid offseason for free agency. I liked the signing of Laken Tomlinson, their guard. Right. I liked the signings of DJ Reed and Jordan Whitehead. I think they were solid. I liked the signings of 2 tight ends, the kid from Cincinnati and Tyler Conklin. Right. I think the Jets had, they signed that defensive end, Martin. They're low-key, low budget, but
short deals.
But short deals, exactly, short deals. But they were solid signings. Now, it's not, unfortunately, they're not going to the playoffs. They're just not. No. They're not. I mean, let's be honest. But they're definitely going to be better than the last couple of years.
Yeah.
These were moves made in the right direction.
We'll see what they do in the draft.
See, that's the thing that's where Joe Douglas supposedly made his bones elsewhere. And last year's draft was extremely underwhelming. Extremely underwhelming. This year, he has a chance to make up for that. It would not surprise me if they go ahead and take Darryl Stingley Jr. Because I feel he's the best cornerback in the draft. And
is he better than Sauce?
Yes. I personally feel he's better than Sauce. It's either that, or if he makes it to 3, they will take Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame. Either way, I see the Jets going secondary with their first round pick. To me, that's just a guarantee. And if you put Stingley or Sauce with DJ Reed and Jordan Whitehead, you have the makings of a pretty damn good secondary, especially with the amount of quarterbacks that are going to be in the
That's right.
And Sauce's real name is Ahmad Gardner. He's a cornerback from Cincinnati.
Yes. No, I know him as I watched the AAC on TV here at home, and I just know him as Sauce because he makes sure that if you're a macaroni, he's all over you.
The Jets have some okay pieces. Like I like the running back Michael Carter. He played well last year,
and they re-signed Tevin Coleman.
Right before the injury he had, and they need to build that offensive line, and receivers aren't bad. Their receivers are okay. They don't have a true number 1 yet.
Well, I think they're looking at Braxton Berrios to be that.
I don't know about the little punt returner slot guy being the number 1. Well, and I like him though. But they brought him back. I'm glad they brought him back. Elijah Moore, good in the slot. He's not a true number 1. The receivers that they signed, Davis he's not really a true number 1. But when he's healthy, he made plays.
If Corey Davis is healthy, he's their number 1. Then you look at Elijah Moore and Berrios, mixing as a number 2 and number 3. They have pieces. They're just not. Let's be honest. You're in the same division as Buffalo. You're in the same conference as
New England,
as the Ravens, the AFC West. You might as well just say the AFC West because you're in the Titans, the
Cincinnati,
Cincinnati. I can't say
Cleveland in there.
I can't say Pittsburgh anymore.
Well, Pittsburgh, for the first time in a long time, Pittsburgh might have a losing season next year.
Oh, they already guaranteed themselves that. They signed Mitch Trubisky. It's already guaranteed.
Damn.
Sorry.
Hey, Mitch Trubisky is what he is. He's mediocre. He had a horrible head coach who didn't play to his. The 1 year he played to his strengths, they almost made the playoffs. And then he went away from what Mitchell Trubisky does well, which is he's an athletic quarterback, one read guy. He can't push the ball downfield. He doesn't have that kind of arm. He is what he is. He's a stopgap for Pittsburgh. Staying in the AFC East, ours favorite team, Buffalo Bills signed linebacker defensive end Von Miller to a 6-year, $120 million deal. I like the deal. I just don't like the years because
I was about to say
Von Miller's up there in age.
That's the first thing that jumped out at me was the 6-year part. But
he's 32. There aren't a lot of 38-year-old defensive ends chasing quarterbacks off the edge.
Maybe you could chase a 50-year-old Tom Brady.
What are your thoughts?
Where's R? Where's his team?
He said he had to take care of something. He'd be back.
Oh, okay. I have no thoughts about it.
None.
My friend to the lower right is silent. He's holding his hand. He doesn't know what to say. Go ahead, say it.
Me?
Yes, you. Lower right.
I gotta tell you, I like the deal, but you guys are you're looking at the 6-year, $120 million deal, and you're saying, I don't like the years. Guess what? Only $51 million of that is guaranteed. $45 million of that 51 was up front. So technically speaking, Von Miller's not playing for the full 6 years. He's playing maybe 1 or 2 years, possibly 3 max. And then after that, that's it.
That's the retirement money?
Oh, it's retirement money. You're damn right it's retirement money. But guess what? Only $51.5 million of that $120 million is fully guaranteed. There's $85 million that are left to play with, which in the NFL, you can definitely play around with it by making it into like this big, gigantic signing bonus or anything like that. So, this to me was a great deal by Buffalo. It's not a cap killer by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
And in the end, when it comes time to cut him, his cap hit is not going to be catastrophic at all.
They chasing the chip.
Yeah,
some teams in the AFC loaded up on offense. They already have their offense in place, so
improve your defense.
The 6 years, $120 million to me is more of a mirage. It looks great when you see it, saying, "Wow, he's going to get his bank," but when you break down the contract and you see $51 million guaranteed, $45 million of it up front with the before signing bonus and stuff like that.
That's a great deal.
He's only going to be making the league minimum salary-wise for this year. Next year, he's going to make more. He's going to make more money. It's the third year and on where you can play with the remaining money that's on a deal. Now, if Von Miller in 3 years' time is still running on a high motor, the front office is going to move that money around to make sure it's cap friendly instead of cap hell in order to keep him. Especially when you have Josh Allen, you have Stephon Diggs, you have, the other wide receiver who had the 4-touchdown game. That name is escaping me right now. Holy crap. They have all the weapons in place. Miller was the answer to make sure that they don't lose in overtime without getting the ball again.
Right.
Okay. Good answer.
Yeah. Maybe another time. Maybe you could explain all these contract stuff because I don't understand. Look, when I take a job and they tell me this is what they're gonna pay me, I don't want to hear this is gonna be for 2 years and then 3 years later this is what you're gonna pay me what you said you're gonna pay me. I don't understand how these things work.
The problem though is football is the only sport. Mark, or Ron, correct me if I'm wrong. But football is the only sport that doesn't fully guarantee contracts. It's the only sport where the front office can finagle contracts in such a way where they look exorbitant on paper, but that player is only going to get paid X amount of money unless you're Kirk Cousins and get a guaranteed contract.
So I'm being half facetious. I'm being half facetious, but do the players know this?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because their agent, what happens is their agents will tell you this is what it's going to look like on paper, but this is how much you're going to get paid up front. The rest of the money you may not see, or you may if you play the game correctly. And I'm not talking about playing the game on the football. Playing the contract game.
Right. I just mean, do they know this? Well, yeah. Well, he's special, but do they know this before they go to the strip club? That's what I'm trying.
Listen,
because these guys.
Hold on, David. Did you ever see Broke, the 30 for 30 on ESPN?
No.
I forget what guy it was, but he said he had just signed a new deal or whatever, and he got some bonus money. So he said he took money he had, he paid off his baby mamas. Paid off the
plural
the baby mamas and the child support. He said he got his money. And then he said the Hummer came out. He was like, "Yo, I had to go get one. I had to."
Wow.
And then he was broke again.
Yeah. Go figure.
I think there's a few guys that are in the league that are playing off of spent money.
Yeah, stupid. I never understood that. It's either you're gonna get the Hummer or you're gonna go make it rain at the strip club. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of foolishness. I don't know. I just don't see the use of that. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I'm not a trick emeritus. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't know about it.
All righty there.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't know about that life. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen. James Harden is
the
GOAT of all tricks.
I'm just saying, man. I never understood that.
But you like this deal, Von Miller, to your Buffalo deal?
Hell yeah, I love it. He's a little long in the tooth though. I'm a little worried about that, but I'll take it. I'll take it for a short term. What are you waving your hands at? Well, you a Minnesota Viking fan, so you got no dime in this.
Hey, you keep Kirk Cousins out of your mouth, young man.
Listen, Nick.
Listen.
Look, I'm not counting your money. I'm not counting your money.
They restructured Adam Thielen's contract today.
Right. But Nick, I'm not counting your money. But what you should do is take what you have and invest in the Kirk Cousins fund. It's called Picks and Fumbles.
Picks and Fumbles, stupid. Oh.
Wait a minute. Is that a parlay on the betting sites? How many times he's going to throw a pick? How many times he's going to fumble? Is there a line for that?
I think it's publicly traded. I'm not
sure. Wait, but no. In his defense, he did improve upon that. He did improve. Let's be real. Come on.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't as bad.
He only threw 7 picks last year.
Not bad.
But he could not.
When did he pick
the
him?
Vikings lost a lot of
Yeah,
23, 21 games.
No doubt. Unfortunately.
25 games. They lost a lot of games by less than a touchdown.
Nick, don't jump, Nick. Don't jump, Nick.
Don't
yeah.
Step away from the ledge.
Yeah.
We still friends? We still friends?
Oh,
look at that look. Look at that look.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. I'm gonna tell you this.
No.
It's a
Remember,
good thing.
Wait, before you say anything, I'm from Brooklyn. So
all I know is this.
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
If Kevin O'Connell
right
doesn't coach like Mike Zimmer, we will be fine.
All righty then.
You give him that one.
No. A lot of people like to lay the blame on Kirk Cousins. Now, is he worth the money that he's gotten the last 8 years of his life? No.
He's smart, though. God dang it. Or his agent is.
Trust me. He's a very smart man. When he signed that 3-year, $72 million deal, and I heard fully guaranteed, I literally almost jumped out my work window 44 flights up.
Didn't I say don't jump, Nick?
When Stefanski was the offensive coordinator, Cousins had his best years.
Right. And you know what happened,
Stefanski left because Mike Zimmer did not like the way that Stefanski was coaching because he made Mike Zimmer look like a goddamn fool.
And also, Diggs lobbied his way out of Minnesota because he was like, I can't do it.
Exactly. A lot of players lobbied their way out of Minnesota because they did not like Mike Zimmer and the way that Mike Zimmer was handling the offensive, the offensive side. Trust me, I was having a parade down my block the day that both him and Rick Spielman got fired. I was ecstatic. I keep saying the year that Case Keenum took us to the NFC Championship game, that was one of the biggest fluke years that you will ever see in your life.
Yep. And they let Keenum go.
And they let Keenum go because they signed Kirk Cousins to a guaranteed contract and then upped that again with another guaranteed contract and then extended him for another guaranteed freaking contract.
You realize he's going to make in the next 2 years $70 million?
Do you realize in the last 10 years of his career, Kirk Cousins has made over $200 million? I
know.
Oh, God.
And you know what? It was all guaranteed money.
Wow.
Because when he was with the Redskins, he was franchised 3 times.
Twice.
And he made the highest
40.
He made the highest money guaranteed for a quarterback both those years.
Yep.
When he signed with the Vikings, the 3 contracts that he's had with the Vikings right now, all his money is guaranteed. He's made more money in the NFL salary-wise these last few years than anybody in the history of the NFL. And people want to complain about Deshaun Watson making bank, Aaron Rodgers making bank. The biggest highway robbery is taking place up in Eagan, Minnesota right now. And I'm a Viking fan.
Yep. And with that, we're going to move on.
And the best part about the whole thing, Mark, is every offseason for the last couple of years, Kirk Cousins is going to get traded here. Cousins is going to get traded there. Cousins is going to get traded there. And I'm saying to myself, no, he's not getting traded. Do you know why? Because nobody wants to pay him that type of money. There's only one team that wants to pay him that type of money, and that's the
Minnesota
Vikings. And there's a reason why we have to restructure contracts. And there's a reason why we have to sign bargain basement people to play our defense. And there's a reason why we're in cap hell.
Oh, man.
And with that,
for that kind of money, I'd make them shovel the snow in the parking lot at least.
And with that rant, we're going to move on to the New York Giants. Our other favorite team. They signed Tyrod Taylor to a 2-year, $11 million deal to compete with Danny Jones, a.k.a. Danny Pennies. From me, that's his nickname, Danny Pennies. The Giants also cut Logan Ryan. They made some moves. They trying to tinker with the offensive line, so some of those moves are being made. What are you guys' thoughts on Taylor and some of the other moves the Giants have made?
the Commanders are going to win the NFC East. That's what I think.
Oh
God!
Wow.
Ronan said Kirk Cousins is a damn master thief. He's fleeced Washington and Minnesota for millions. Yes, he has.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but all right, your thoughts on the Giants signing Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod Taylor, I mean, when he first burst on the scene, I was like, oh, okay. This is a serviceable dude. I mean, he got some talent. Okay. But then, you know, we see it for what it is now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. You know, he's had his injury problem with the injuries and stuff like that, and a little bit maybe on the consistency side, but he's not really that bad. I mean, it could be interesting as far as a quarterback competition with the Giants. It could be interesting. You know what I'm saying? And there I say he might come out the winner. It's a possibility.
Listen, he doesn't turn the ball over.
That's one thing he has in his, you know, on his
he
side.
He doesn't turn the ball over. He's an athletic guy, and he'll be mediocre.
Yeah,
he won't hurt you.
He won't hurt you. That's for sure. You know, cause Danny is athletic as well. He can run the ball. You know what I'm saying? He can move, but that you know, the obligatory turnover. You know, every game. It's like, wow, dude. And at the most inopportune times as well. You're like, God damn, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the heck? You do this right now? Really? You know?
I think that. Go ahead,
I'm just saying, you know, the games that I watch, you know, they're doing their thing. They're driving. There's a big hope and whatnot. Then all of a sudden, wham, out of nowhere. Here's an interception. Here's a lost fumble. You're like, God, geez, what the freak, man? What are you doing? You know? So Taylor doesn't do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge advantage right there. So he could come out of this actually the winner and being a starter. You know, if it's a fair competition. I'll throw that in there too.
Ooh. I like how you phrased that. If it's a fair competition. I think the Giants, from what I've been gathering, he's there to be the backup.
Right.
And if Danny Dimes doesn't be Danny Dimes and he's Danny Pennies, then he'll be playing.
You know what though? I want to amend what I just said too a little bit. They're gonna give Danny every chance to win this job because this is last year.
Yep.
They want to see what they. I'm pretty sure they want to see what they got. You know what I'm saying? With the revamped line and certain additions. They want to see what they've got. I think that they don't want to give this guy away if he truly has something. You and I know he doesn't have anything like that. He's not the guy. He ain't the guy. He's not the guy. He isn't. We know this. Come on.
So
and I talked to Giant fans on Twitter, and some dude that popped up who's a Duke fan. I'm like, the only reason you like the Giants is because Danny Jones went to Duke and you're a Duke guy.
Yeah.
Because you also like the New England Patriots. Get out of here.
Yeah, okay. That's telling. Do you think that they brought Taylor in to truly compete or to light a fire?
A little of both.
Yeah.
Because Danny Jones has not had. He hasn't looked in the quarterback room and saw somebody who looks him in the eye and go, I'm better than you, right?
Right.
Like, you better not fuck. You know, he's looking across at Mike Glennon and Rom, and he's probably like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's saying to himself, "You like that? You like that?"
Why are you taking digs at Nick? See, that's wrong. You're not a good host.
I think it might go a little bit deeper than that.
Okay.
I think that was to keep a whole lot of people quiet.
Yeah.
Because me personally, if you really wanted a quarterback and there was a quarterback available, no matter what that situation was, you go for that quarterback that's available. Not a damn Tyrod Taylor, bro. I'm sorry.
Okay. Nick, I see you with your finger up. What's up?
Nick, he's a bad host. Please flame him.
No. That wasn't even at him. No,
The Giants are going to draft a quarterback with 5th overall.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
And who would that QB be? Because this is a supposedly weak draft. This is a weak draft for quarterbacks.
I think that this quarterback class is getting a bum steer, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I really feel that. I feel that this quarterback class is going to be one of the better ones. Just because they don't have the sexy names out there, this quarterback class is actually quite good. I mean, you don't see the sexy name like Peyton Manning or Ryan Leaf from a few years ago, or the year that the 3 quarterbacks got taken, 1, 2, 3, stuff like that. Or like Trevor Lawrence last year or anything like that. But these quarterbacks that are coming out, I mean, I love the kid from Pittsburgh. I love Pickett. I think he's an NFL-ready quarterback, to be honest with you. And it wouldn't shock me in the least if the Giants take him at 5. Would not. What do you call? I would actually stand up and give them a standing ovation for that pick. To be honest, Danny Jones was a reach. He was a reach when he came out of Duke. He shows flashes of brilliance, but he's a numbnut every time he tucks the balls and runs. He's a fumble machine. And an
interception machine.
If you don't get it's the tried and true thing is if you don't get it after 3 years, you don't get it at all.
Right.
You'll never get it. You're going to be a journeyman quarterback. Daniel Jones is going to be a journeyman quarterback.
And it's not his fault.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. But this is why I was saying, guys, the fact that, they're going to give him every shot to try to succeed.
They're going to give him every shot, but he'll find a way to shoot himself in the foot.
Oh, there's no doubt. Just like I said before I said what I said. I was like, listen, we already know who he is. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why I'm saying,
a great mystery.
This is the last year of his contract. You signed Tyrod Taylor to a 2-year, $11 million deal. Guess what? Read between the lines.
Bridge.
$11 million deal. It's a bridge deal. Why? Because if Danny Jones fails this year, you have Tyrod Taylor to plug in. You draft Pickett with the 5th pick overall. You sit here this year and next year. Let Tyrod run your program for the next year and a half. And when come year 3, Pickett should be your starting quarterback if you don't screw him up.
But how about this?
Interesting.
Next year's the following draft is going to be a quarterback draft.
Right, but I just have this feeling that the Giants are going to make the move this year because it is so low key with the quarterbacks coming out this year that I think this is the perfect opportunity for a team needing a young quarterback that they can mold. This is that draft class.
Is this quarterback going to be a franchise quarterback, or is he just going to be?
What do you call it? To me, Pickett is all the quarterbacks coming out that I feel that are going to be first round picks. Pickett to me is going to be a franchise quarterback. The way he carries himself on and off the field, the way he led the Pittsburgh Panthers the last 2-3 years of his college career. He puts up great numbers. He doesn't have the talent that he has, that an Alabama has, an Ohio State has, an LSU has. He doesn't have that type of talent. Yet he continuously puts up great numbers year in and year out. And he's in a system that is a pro system. So he'll know the reads right off the bat. I watched him, when I watched him on TV, to me, he was the guy of this class.
Wow.
You know, let me say
Wow.
to what Nick saying. That's a very interesting scenario, and if it holds true, what could possibly happen is that they take him, and the Giants have a not a good season, but they have a high draft pick. Now they don't have to use that draft pick. If there are sexy names for quarterback out there, other teams are going to want to trade, and then they can turn that draft pick over into multiple draft picks, and then take care of their other needs rather than being forced to be in a position to blow it all on the one guy.
And you also have to remember the Giants this year, they have 2 first-round draft picks. They don't have to take Pickett at 5. They could take Pickett at like 10 or wherever else that they're or 8 or wherever else they're located.
I think it's 5 and 7. Mm-hmm.
The Giants right now have so many holes. I've just looked at their free agency class so far, and let's just say it's been pathetic to say the least. I mean, seriously, you signed Tyrod Taylor, which to me right now is their best signing because Ricky Seals-Jones, no. The 2 linemen that they signed, no. You know, the amount of free agents that are still out there, no. What do you call it? This year, the Giants are going to finish last in their division. They're going to continue. If they're smart with 5 and 7 this year, they take their best available player and they take Pickett.
They got to take either take a lineman with one of those picks, or take a stud defensive guy who can get at the quarterback, whether it's a defensive end or a linebacker.
Exactly, and that should be that should definitely be one of their picks. The second pick should be Pickett, and then next year when they have another top 5 pick, and knowing that they don't need a quarterback, you know, the for sale sign comes up and go, give me your best offer.
I think they have 2 number ones
Right.
The following draft as well. Don't quote me on that.
They have the draft capital.
That's the only thing Gettleman did right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You're right.
So this would be great. The only way they blow it all up is if they use the pick to take the quarterback from Grand Valley State.
Right. Grand Valley State. Hilarious.
Or Wisconsin Stevens Point.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Well.
Yeah. Last topic. R had me dying when he posted this.
What?
Where's Mr. Jones gonna wind up now that he's
Cleveland?
Cleveland? Who said Cleveland?
Nick.
Going to Cleveland. He's going to Cleveland. What do you call it? It's just tailor-made for him right now to go to Cleveland, to go with Deshaun Watson, to be on the other side of Amari Cooper.
How much is he gonna get?
He's going to get $10 million.
Because those days of him being a
number one stud.
He's going to get 10. He's going to get $10 million. He's going to be their number 2. He's going to put up good numbers. And what do you call it? He will be, he will do what he does, what he can do. He's not if anybody's looking for the Julio Jones that played for the Atlanta Falcons, those days have come and gone. You're getting what I say is AJ Green towards the end of his career right now.
He's 32.
Yep.
A lot of miles on him.
He was injured the last 2 years.
Right.
Before he got injured, though, he was playing well for the Titans. Numbers wise. He wasn't getting touchdowns, but he was making his catches and getting yards. But
wasn't they trying to just like they really didn't utilize him early on during the season like that, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? They really he wasn't really a focal part of their offense early on. Maybe that changed mid-season, You know what I'm saying? But and I text Mark about this. I said, listen, because what I found funny when he got cut, there was hardly any talking about it. I was like, yo, do you realize this guy got cut? Nobody's saying nothing. I'm like, okay. I said, how the hell with Julio Jones? Right. Okay, I hear you. That's the feelings I got from people. I was like, damn, But I honestly think he could be definitely a number 2 option, number 3 option as well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why not?
Right. If Cleveland isn't the team to pick him, what other teams do you think he would fit?
Green Bay.
Yeah. I can see a Green Bay.
And he's 32, so I assume he would want to go to a playoff team. And that's who he would try to target.
I could see Cleveland. I can see Green Bay. I could see possibly Pittsburgh.
What about New England?
I could see I can't see New England.
Why not?
I can't see New England. What do you call it? He doesn't fit the type of player that Belichick would want at this point in time. Belichick usually gets rid of players when they reach what he feels is their shelf life. I can't see New England. I definitely can't. I could see Buffalo.
Somebody in our group said Tampa Bay.
They re-signed Godwin. They still have Mike Evans. If Gronk, if Gronk decides to come back, would he want to be the 3rd or 4th wide receiver on the team though?
Listen, he could do what AB was doing.
Yeah, I'm about to say the same thing. Why not?
How about Denver?
Denver has solid receivers.
Yeah. I'm gonna put something out there, and dare I say it? How about either one of the New York teams?
Oh God, no!
Listen, we already have an injury-prone wide receiver on the Giants, and he got Golladay, and the Jets don't need to do that.
Right.
He could go back. He could go back to the AFC South, but I wouldn't say the Bucs.
New Orleans, Tampa. Interesting.
What about Ronan? Julio Jones to Dallas?
Oh.
I could see that. He would be a number 3 option, though, wouldn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could see Cleveland too, like you said. Cleveland's interesting.
To me, I think Cleveland would be at the top of the list, just for the fact that he would be a clear-cut number 2. He wouldn't have to be 3rd or 4th on the depth chart.
Right.
Because people seem to also forget they lost Landry, they traded away OBJ, and Higgins signed elsewhere. So they need wide receiving help.
Right. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Y'all got any other teams you want to talk about in the NFL who would remain silent because they don't have cap money? Or they just have an inept front office?
Oh, Miami?
Well, listen. Miami's GM, he needs a slap. Somebody needs to slap him. What he did to Brian Flores is he fired Brian Flores because he's a bad GM.
Okay.
We could talk to Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, listen, the Jaguars have spent money. I don't know if that money is good because they overpaid for a wide receiver.
They spent money on the wrong players. Christian Kirk, 4 years, $84 million. Okay. Evan Ingram, 1 year, $11 million for the biggest butterhand tight end that works for you now. Okay. Let's see. What do you call? I got to tell you, Balky and Peterson, pretty much went to Papa Khan and said, we're going to spend your money. And Papa Khan goes, Okay, spend as much as you want and do what's best for my team. Oh, they're spending your money all right. They're not doing what's best for your team. Not by a long shot.
Yeah.
When I saw Christian Kirk's contract, the first thing I said was Davante Adams and all the other wide receivers right now must be sitting at their desks or on their chairs or wherever they are right now with the biggest Cheshire cat grins on their faces, knowing they're about to get paid and paid really handsomely. Yep. Because who in their right mind would give this guy an average $21 million deal when he hasn't done diddly dick in the NFL? Last year, 77 catches for 980-something yards and 4 touchdowns. How in the God green earth is that worth $21 million a year?
He was good for my fantasy team.
Whatever.
But those aren't fantasy numbers. Do you know what that average is?
I played him in certain games, and he did what I needed him to do.
Okay, but if you average, this is what he averaged for last year. He averaged 4.5 catches a game, 70-something point yards per game, and less than 1 touchdown every 4 games.
Right. So I played him. I played him like twice. He did 3 times. He did what I needed.
I'm talking real football, not fantasy football.
Oh, listen. He had decent. Those are decent numbers, but again, you don't give decent numbers $84 million.
No.
He should have got maybe. He should have. He shouldn't even got a deal that What's the guy that used to be on the Jets? That's on Carolina now. He shouldn't even got his
Robbie
deal.
Anderson.
He shouldn't even got a Robbie Anderson deal. But 84.
84. I know. It's like what do you call it? It's like mind boggling.
And they also signed Zay Jones, wide receiver. They signed the defensive tackle from the Jets, Foley Fatukasi, and Darius Williams, the cornerback.
Like I said,
they signed some other people too.
They're spending Papa Khan's money. They're not spending it wisely.
So how many wins did they have last year? 2?
2.
So signing these guys, they might win 6 this year, and I'm being generous.
I give them 5. I give them 5. 5 wins. 5-12. That's the way I see it.
Say that again.
Jacksonville spent a boatload of money on mediocre players.
Oh. Who? Evan Ingram?
Mm-hmm. What do you think their record would be?
How many wins did they have last year?
2.
They double it.
4?
Thank you, Ronan.
That was my guess.
You.
When you said 2, I was double it.
Yeah, Kirk is getting paid like a number 1 wide receiver, and no, he's not. What's the averages again, Nick?
4.5 catches a game.
His salary. I meant his salary. I'm sorry.
Oh, 21 million. 21 million per year.
Crazy.
4 years, $84 million. 21 million per year.
Nice.
Listen,
he went to the school of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I gotta start.
His name is Kirk.
I gotta start getting back in. I gotta start getting back in shape. I gotta start working out so I can play some football.
Oh, what's your position? Offense or defense?
I play both.
Hey yo.
I play both, man. Yeah, I play both, man. I play both. Man.
You saw your brother right there. Who else with you?
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I was 5'7".
Okay.
121 pounds.
Wow.
if they would have put football pads on me in high school, they would have broken me in half like a tooth.
Nice.
The only thing I had going for me was when I was in high school, I ran a 4.640.
Okay, I hear that. Nothing wrong with that.
I ended up running track and field.
Okay.
And I blew out my hamstring in my senior year.
Damn, sorry. Damn.
And what do you call it? Probably it was the best thing that happened to me because it gave me the it kept me from having delusions of grandeur for playing college football.
Right.
Because you think I was small in high school, wait until you would see me in college.
Listen, you can ask my good friend David. I don't know if you remember my football days.
I
David,
don't.
Really?
No.
You remember the baseball days?
I remember the baseball.
Snap.
I don't remember your football.
Don't snap, motherfreaker. Okay,
that was.
You know what I'm saying? I was a terror on the
really?
field.
I don't. Why did I not?
Did y'all go to
this?
the same high school?
No.
I was a terror.
Really?
I was a terror.
Oh
yeah.
I don't remember you playing football.
Well, oh my God, dude. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Yeah, I agree, Ronan. Exactly. I tell you, on defense especially, I would terrorize the quarterback rushing him. They had to put like an extra body. It was like, somebody cover that guy, pointing my direction. I'm like, I was a murderer on defense.
Really?
All I have to say is Reggie.
I could see it, but I just didn't know that you played.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All I have to say is Reggie's jumper is suspect.
Hey guys, I gotta jump off.
Same.
I got a long night. Ahead of me. I got to jump
All
off.
right.
All right.
I just saw
having you.
Before you go, I just saw on the group that Kenley Jansen went to the Braves.
Who?
Jansen. Kenley Jansen from the Dodgers.
Oh wow.
1 year deal, $16 million.
What position?
I'm done.
Yeah.
The closer.
25. Okay, I amend my statement from earlier. They're going to go 130 and 32.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
So you was
close us out?
You was in
You
was
closing out?
LT?
Yeah, that's it. I'll close it out.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us tonight. Appreciate it. I don't know when we're going to be back on. Maybe Monday, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right.
You see at the bottom. Subscribe.
Peace out.
Subscribe. And
Don't
also,
subscribe.
Ronan, Dawood,
Jeff.
You know what I'm saying? Groundbreaker. Am I leaving anybody out, Mac?
I think you are.
I think if I am,
Information Man.
Information Man. God bless. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support. And hopefully you guys will tune in again on the next version of In the Paint. Hopefully that'll be Monday. We'll see, as I'll chop it up with Mac about that offline. All right, guys.
All right.
Peace and love. Stay safe out there. Take care.
Have a good weekend.
All right now.
All right. Work on your jumper, Reggie.